Hello and welcome to today's episode of Scale SaaS. I'm your host, Ali Jamal. Each week, we sit down with SaaS leaders who are reshaping industries through technology and innovation. Today, we are exploring a topic that almost every business struggles with: managing documents. From compliance to collaboration, companies are drowning in paperwork, PDFs, and disconnected systems. But what if document management could move beyond simple storage and actually become predictive, intelligent, and AI native? Joining me is Damien McClave, CEO of Docplace. Damian and his team are building a future where documents don't just sit in the folders, they become active, intelligent assets that drive decision making. Damian, welcome to the show.
Morning, Ali. How are you?
Right. So let's start with your story. Can you walk us through your journey? What inspired you to establish Docplace?
Yeah, I'll go back just a little bit beyond that, Ali, to explain a little bit about my DMS background. So I've been in the DMS enterprise space since 2009. I formed a company called the Networkplace back then, and basically that was focused primarily on the financial sector. Hired a bunch of Microsoft developers and built out a hosted DMS platform. In that environment, in that financial sector, we actually were able to work with two of the largest banks in the world, two Asian banks actually, ICBC and China Construction Bank. I think they're probably market cap 1 and 3 in the world. And we help run and scale large regulated DMS environments. So very familiar with the enterprise environment, and that's kind of where my history is. In 2002, when the pandemic was here, I decided to build out a complete cloud-based platform just because of the flexibilities that the cloud environment offered. And then obviously in 2022 and then in 2024, we built out our completely AI-powered ingestion system, AI templates, e-signature, AI workflows, and everything based on the AI native environment. So I wanted to take it from experiences in a very structured hosted financial sector and bring that into an AI environment based on how documents are going to be in one type of ecosystem. So that's kind of the journey of where we are now. We rolled out the platform in mid 2024, so we're about a year or so into it at this point and going very, very well.
Wow, interesting insight. So let's zoom out. Every organization has document scattered across systems, contracts, invoices, compliance forms. Can you walk us through the core challenges organizations face with document management today? And what inspired Docplace to approach this space differently?
Yeah, so this is kind of the core value of Docplace. So we view documents as the ownership of the organization. We don't view documents as how it's currently set up in many of the current DMS silos that you have out there, whether it's SharePoint or different types of environments that people are working in.
Like so, Dropbox sort of solutions, right?
Exactly. Yeah, Dropbox, SharePoint, any kind of even email systems, and or shared drive environments. So we take it out. We look at documents as the ownership of the organization, and then we train our AI mechanism to be able to search those documents based on how the organizations are going to use the documents. But not only just search the documents, we also are able to automate their indexing process. So no more manual indexing, zero indexing with our platform. We can create dynamic folder construction on the back end of the platform automatically without doing any kind of manual indexing again. And basically allowing the organization then to create one ecosystem. So get away from data silos, no more data silo here in finance or in HR, everything else. Now it's one ecosystem. And then we look at the platform as or forms creation or content creation or e-signature. Those are the user experiences inside of the platform. So it's a win-win for both. The organization wins because they control the data using AI, and we map it based on that. And then the users win because they're not going into multiple environments to be able to execute the word. So we have our own forms. So you don't have to go to Jot Forms. You don't need DocuSign because we have our own e-signature. You don't need SharePoint because obviously AI is capturing all your data in the cloud environment. So we can eliminate a lot of those data silos and give you really great AI analytics based on the actual data.
Right. So if I could narrate a simple example, assuming I'm a compliance manager and I do a search, show me all the vendor documents that are going to be expired in October, November, December 2025. So Docplace will do intelligent search. It will basically extract all this information, reads all the documents, and in the dashboard, it will display all the documents who are going to be expired in October, November, December. Perhaps it can also create a red flag, without having any renewable clauses, and also could create a workflows for the legal team to look at, correct?
That's exactly what we do. Yes, it's exactly how we do it. Basically, when you're using AI on the ingestion side, you're basically setting up those mechanisms from the onset. As soon as you onboard the data, whether it's paper documents getting transformed to electronic, or your electronic documents moving from multiple silos into an AI environment. But then you're able to track contract expiration dates, COI expiration dates, renewal. It'll tag you on the documents, and it'll push that data to their legal department or their contract department or their sales department to remind them that these contracts are up for renewal and need to be worked on.
Yeah, very nice. Very powerful feature. So you have also built predictive AI models into the platform. Can you explain how these work? For example, anticipating document usage, compliance risk. I know there's a big healthcare industry who can get the benefit out of it, and workflow bottlenecks.
Yeah, like for example, on the predictive AI, so we use a vector database. So on our side, our primary approach is to train all the documents into our model by adding it into the vector database. And then for particular clients based on what their needs are. And then allowing them to multidimensionally search. So that's kind of the game changer for a lot of these organizations. So they're able to be able to do that. And by doing that too, as I mentioned earlier, you're eliminating these data silos. So with the data silos, if you don't have predictive AI, your data's in data silos, you're not able to utilize that data across the organization. So obviously with predictive AI, you're able to do that. You're able to capture it and get it into one environment. And I think the other thing too is to be able to extract AI analytics across an entire database. So don't limit it to one sector of your organization, because if you have 4 or 5, or sometimes you'll see multi data silos, could be up to a dozen data silos in some organizations. You're losing a lot of value when you can't extract that AI analytics. And a couple of examples, like we have a bunch of examples on that there. When it comes to, we just recently did a municipality that was onboarding about 10,000 invoices a month, but they were doing it based with human effort. And then they introduced robotics, but it was only about a 55% accuracy ratio. So we're able to go in there and extract all that information in 10,000 invoices that they produce, and be able to get their vendors paid instead of having them to wait, 60, 90 days. They're able to turn it around in under 10 days. So those are real life examples of how predictive AI is really changing the game. It's eliminating those workflow bottlenecks that you see now, whether it's people or whether it's multiple silos or multiple products that they're throwing in one solution.
And it saves a lot of man hours. So let's talk about impact. What industries or sectors are benefiting most from Docplace today? Can you name a few industries?
Sure. I think our main focus and it's not that we purposely did it. It's like as we go to market strategy, we feel like healthcare, education, and government are 3 of the sectors that we've had the most success with. we've also been very successful in just regular commercial. And I'll explain to you how that works as well. But those are the three sectors. Healthcare, obviously, is an easy one because it's very segmented. Regulations is very hard to impose. Bigger organizations, Docplace can handle all of that, and that's the difference with AI. We just recently actually onboarded a university here in the New York area, and they had a very difficult time. They're onboarding about 30,000 students on an annual basis, but they were using different environments to do it. They were using PandaDoc for their forms creation and their template making. They were using Windows Shared Drive for different areas, and then they were using Google Drive. And in that environment there, we were able to eliminate all three of those environments, all three of those products, and onboard that university students at 30,000. But not only that, with the AI ingestion model that we have, all of their, whether it's admissions, financial aid, or finance, they're able to see the student record in one environment, where before it would be going into multiple environments to pick out information. Right. So now what they have it in one environment. So that's the business structure taken care of. So, but then the main thing then for them after that is they're able to pull out all the AI analytics from the student database, and now they're using that for their marketing. So all these examples have gotten better as they've onboarded the platform. They're able to extract more data, more information, and see how the use of AI is compared to being in the environment that they were before.
That's an interesting success story. So basically, storage, intelligent search, e-signature, compliance, workflows under one tool, Docplace.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
okay.
Exactly it.
And I know you told about the business school. So can you share another success story where an organization saw measurable improvements, particularly in the healthcare sector? Because, you know, that's document-heavy sector and highly regulated.
Yeah, we onboarded a fairly sizable medical organization recently as well. And one of the biggest problems they had is they had about 2 terabytes of data inside of their on their shared drive. And one of the things that they were not in compliance before we took over was obviously they had all their manuals, medical procedure manuals and everything else. And obviously those all have compliance dates, compliance times. And what we found is when we did the shared environment, it was very unstructured. So we were able to extract about 2 or 3 terabytes of data, organize their procedures, their manuals, their medical procedure manuals, and put in the actual date that those manuals were updated. So they're fully in a compliance setup in terms of working on the actual manuals and the procedure manuals that they were using on that given date. So what AI allows you to do, it allows you to capture that data, but then extract all the data for that medical organization to become compliant. We actually put them into a compliance environment that was actually real. So when they were going through their audits, a lot of their audits were on a manual basis, showing how they were currently structured. But when you put it into an AI native environment, you're able to show real time what compliance means.
That's very true. Okay, so when we talk about AI and automation, people immediately think about trust and security. How do you balance automation with regulatory requirements while keeping organization confident that their data is safe?
Yeah, this was really at the beginning of our rollout. We decided we looked at the different cloud environments that we wanted that we could work in. Obviously, we're a big Microsoft environment. So for me, Microsoft Azure Commercial or Azure Government or the Azure secret or top secret environments in terms of their cloud environment was a very attractive one for me. We also we looked at Oracle, we looked at AWS and things, but we decided to go with Microsoft primarily because of their Azure security settings. They're very big on the Azure government side in terms of the regulatory requirements. So we felt very secure in that Azure environment. Now, Azure wasn't as user-friendly from a development standpoint of view a number of years back, as opposed to AWS. But we felt that, with their HIPAA, SOC 2, ITAR, DoD compliance, we felt they were definitely a step up from where the other cloud environments are. Obviously now they've all elevated their game over the last few years, but that's what we do. So we basically only play in the Azure commercial and the Azure government environment.
Right. Let's shift gears to growth. Over the next 12 to 18 months, what are Docplace's main growth priorities? Are you focusing more on enterprise clients? What other vertical industries you're looking at, or perhaps new geographies?
Yeah, that is absolutely where we are at the moment. Obviously, we're in the process of securing a Series A round, and that is really to build our internal sales and marketing group. Our product is very, very mature. We've got a lot of great case studies out there at the moment from multi-verticals. We are focusing a lot on healthcare, education, and government. Those are kind of where we focus on currently.
Right.
But the Series A is going to allow us, obviously, to build our own internal sales mechanisms and sales folks. We've been very successful in opening a few of the, we feel, very kind of strategic channels. We've had a lot of success on the smaller ISP environment channels, because we feel like they have a very close relationship to their clients, and they're also very pro AI type software solutions to replace some of the legacy stuff that they're obviously implementing most of the time. And we have a national here in the US, a national office automation industry that I'm familiar with from my past life. So rolling out that, we find that the office automation industry, they play better on the enterprise client space, and obviously they have a massive database, and as they're experiencing, hardware revenue reduction, they feel, and we feel with them, is that this is a great sales opportunity for them to move into another environment that's very familiar, very similar to what they're doing now in terms of scanning data and onboarding data. But with some of the education that we're doing now on that front, we feel that they're going to be a major player for us in the next 12 to 18 months.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about the growth channels as well. These growth channels, they're always a mix of trial and error. Which channels have been working best for Docplace so far? Is it inbound, outbound, LinkedIn, partnership, events? And also on the flip side, which ones haven't delivered as expected?
I think, obviously the partner challenge for us, as you just mentioned, has been very, very, very important. We are now doing obviously LinkedIn campaigns now, Google ad campaigns, and all of those things. That's still a trial and error, fairly successful, and sometimes we're monitoring obviously the clicks. We use HubSpot as our CRM on the back end, so we're able to get real-time data there. Trial and error, some of the things we feel like some of the regulatory requirements for government agencies, we find that they're a little bit slow to adapt to some of the AI, the new AI environments. So we find that that's a little bit of a struggle, and obviously a lot of education needed on that side there.
Right.
But we feel like those are kind of the approaches we take. So we have a kind of a two-pronged approach. One is our partner program, and one is what we're doing internally. I think the LinkedIn, the Google ad campaigns, and everything else, obviously building out our sales operation, that's our internal growth, and then obviously coupling that with our partner channel.
Right. And looking a bit further ahead, where do you see document management heading in the next 5 years? Do you think AI native will become the industry standard?
I absolutely do. I have no doubt in my mind about it. Even I think something too, like I think what's going to change over the next few years, and I think it's already changing, is I think some of the need that you have for some of the document types that basically we're building an AI native environment around, PDFs or Word docs or PowerPoint. I think that dynamic, trajectory, that's going to change very soon. I think the AI native environment is going to create its own types of documents. And I think the legacy environments like PDFs has been around since 1993. I don't feel that is going to be the wave going forward. I think that people will be in AI workflows, end-to-end, automated end-to-end. I think the speed of onboarding data, we're 52 times faster than any traditional DMS environment right now. It's night and day. I think consolidating, one product where you can replace 5 product sets and put it into one AI native environment is definitely, organizations are going to feel it. The number one is you have AI analytics coming out of one data silo, and you have all the tools that are gathered together within the AI environment. There's no need to be adding on 5 different platforms to do what one platform can do. But I think the big change over the next few years is going to be how people work with the current document types like PDFs, Word, and the necessity for some of that environment, I think, is going to be eliminated pretty soon.
Yeah, so I cannot agree more. So now let's give some advice to our listeners for CIOs, compliance officers, and startup founders making the shift from paper-based or legacy system to AI native can feel daunting. So what is the biggest mistake organizations make during this transition?
Yeah, there's a few things on this one that I think are quite prevalent. I think not doing a full needs assessment as an organization is a huge mistake, in my opinion. I think you have many organizations that jump in without a complete analysis of their workflows and their platforms. And one thing I would definitely recommend for organizations, don't treat this as a technology swap, because it's not. It's much, 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 much different than that. I think on the AI native, when it means consolidation. You need to educate the C-level people, C-level folks on the advantages of AI. I think right now we're in that world where everybody's hearing AI, but they're not seeing the practical applications. I think now as we do our case studies and we look at our practical applications, they're immense for organizations. So I think getting beyond that AI as a tag word and get into what real life scenarios is going to be incredibly important from C-level, and also from people that are introducing, platforms to create solutions or to fix solutions for these organizations.
So basically, the C-levels.
I think on the legacy DMS side, I think legacy DMS organizations, because of their large databases, I really do believe that they will become obsolete relatively soon, over the next few years. I think it's very hard for them. They can't adopt to an AI native approach. They literally would have to start and have to redesign their environments from scratch. So I think if I was, looking at it from a legacy DMS environment, I think there's some challenges coming really soon. One thing is ragging one document and giving you some intelligence to one document, and one thing is having a complete database in an AI native environment. And
so you think DocuSign, Dropbox, Dockerware will be gone in a couple of years?
I mean, they're big organizations, they're billion-dollar companies. But I think if they can't adopt an AI native document management environment, which is very difficult for them because they're too big and their databases but I think a lot of those organizations are going to really struggle soon. That's my absolute feeling on it. I see it because I see it with customers that we're onboarding. When you take out PandaDoc and you eliminate the use for onboarding their templates, and then you take out Google Drive, and you don't need that anymore for onboarding 30,000 students, and you take out their shared environment, the proof is in the pudding. So if they're eliminating those platforms, it's not for no reason. So unless they're all offering an AI native environment, I think they're going to see that, obviously not now, but they're going to see it exponentially as the time goes on.
Okay, fair enough. So, Damien, this has been a fantastic conversation. Before we close, how can people learn more about Docplace and connect with you, either through LinkedIn or your company website?
Yeah, obviously, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm available there to connect with me at any time. My email is on the. I'll put the email on the chat for you guys. It's dmcclave at docplace.us, and obviously our website is docplace.io. So you can connect there at any time and book a demo on our platform or connect with me directly.
Perfect. That's all for today's episode of Scale SaaS. If you enjoyed this discussion, make sure to subscribe and share with a colleague who is exploring AI solutions in their organization. Thanks again to Damien and the Docplace team, and thank you all for listening. Until next time.